Welcome to episode 5 of Grow For It. This is a podcast for business owners, managers, and professionals. The goal is to give me a chance to work in the space between your ears, on your mindset, to help you focus on the things that really matter to your success. I want to enable you to concentrate on pursuing your vision, setting meaningful goals, and engaging in the day-to-day activities that'll have the biggest impact. Thanks for joining me and investing a few minutes of your time. This episode deals with one of my favorite consulting topics. We're going to consider reasons you should harness the power of listening to your heart as a method to overcome fear. In episode 4, we touched on several ways to use financial metrics for business planning. We talked about the importance of focusing on net margin dollars as opposed to top-line revenue. Since this podcast deals with your mindset, today we're going to explore motivation. If you're ready, let's grow for it. You may recall we've spent the last 4 episodes discussing vision, goals, and a few tactics. Now, let's move back to a very basic question. It's related to your vision. What's your motivation? Think of your career, and maybe even your life, as a book. When you get to the end of the last chapter, will it have been worth the read? Some of the best business coaching discussions I've had are those during which we actually pushed back from the conference room table and explored the question, why are you actually doing this? Some of the answers I've heard have amazed me. Guiding a client through unpacking his or her answer is an incredibly interesting process. Some of the most rewarding moments are when you see that light bulb turn on. It doesn't happen automatically. I have to be able to reach that point with my client where he or she feels safe enough to be vulnerable. I continue to be surprised by how many people allow their dreams to be confined or ignored simply out of fear. What would my colleagues think? Would my family support my decision? Do I really have what it takes? Over the years, I've met and worked with some incredible people who've dealt with these issues and found a way to break through. There's my friend Matt Maudlin in Indianapolis. He runs Memo Marketing. He does terrific work in marketing and strategic planning. I really admire the way he executes for his clients. There's Mark Palmer over at Oology here in Louisville. We're former competitors. We actually worked together, and we've been friends for years. He's one of the most creative guys I know. There's Neil James, owner of Rain Marketing and Consulting in the San Diego area. We've worked together for years and now collaborate on multiple projects. He's one of the most genuine people I've ever known. I can't tell you how many hours we spent just working through business issues together. Then there's John Black here in Louisville. I met this guy several years ago. He has a corporate gig, but he's an entrepreneur at heart. I love watching how he balances all of it and still has time to be a great dad and husband. What each of these guys did and continue to do is to follow their dreams. In doing so, they're finding fulfillment. They're carving out niches. They're contributing with the talents they were given. It's really inspiring to watch. So let me ask you these important questions. When was the last time you took a break simply to dream? Once you did, were you able to capture it? More importantly, are you taking steps to pursue it? When we dream, we give our heart room to speak. Our hearts are so much more powerful than our brains. It's your heart that can overcome the logic of why you can't or shouldn't. Our hearts are what makes it possible for us to say, you know what, maybe I can. That's the inflection point. It's a core theme of any of marketing superstar Gary Vaynerchuk's keynote addresses and Q&A sessions. Listening to your heart gives you the chance to dream, the motivation to take a chance, the belief that you really do have what it takes. Listening to your heart gives you the courage to step beyond fear. Don't let fear be a roadblock to your life, your vision, your success. At best, fear should be a speed bump causing us to slow down and consider the path. But fear should never prevent us from embarking on the journey. Greg Blakemore is a friend, colleague, and client of mine. We've known each other for about 10 years. Greg handles complex construction projects such as hospitals, data centers, and other commercial developments. One of his motivations is to actively get involved with missions and supporting others who do that kind of work. It's where his heart is. Greg's been involved in Bosnia for over 20 years. Last year, Greg approached me with an idea to develop a company that could operate in the healthcare space for underdeveloped or struggling countries. We spent several months developing and launching a business. We both traveled to Zenica and Sarajevo, Bosnia to deploy it. During our 2-week trip, we met with U.S. Embassy officials, a mayor, a few other Bosnian politicians, and the head of a local medical school, who, interestingly, just happened to be the former president of Bosnia. We trained a few people on the technology and deployed the assets. To date, this small startup has performed over 1,000 healthcare assessments in the local community. We're now exploring options to deploy in Bulgaria and Costa Rica. My friend is a highly talented operator in the construction industry. He's earned a stellar reputation. But what really lights a spark in his soul is the work he's able to do for the people in these struggling parts of the world. That's an example of listening to one's heart. It's how Greg is going to ensure that his final chapter will be worth the read. Let's discuss a practical exercise. Once again, I'm asking you to take out a sheet of paper. For this one, you'll want to find a quiet space. Close the door to your office, go to an empty conference room, or maybe just grab a cup of coffee early one morning at your kitchen table. Now, on your sheet of paper, I want you to begin writing down your dreams. What do you really want to accomplish? Describe those secret goals you keep to yourself. If you could do anything else, what would it be? Don't try to list them all in a column. Write them in various areas all over the paper. Life doesn't usually move in an orderly fashion anyway. You may just have a word or a phrase to describe them. It might be a mental picture. Whatever it is, capture it. When you're finished, put down your pen and step away for a couple of minutes. Go get a glass of water or warm up your coffee. When you come back, start connecting areas of convergence. Draw lines between the things that are somehow connected. Are you beginning to see a theme or a pattern? You might be surprised by what you actually see. It may be the first time you've seen this type of clarity. Maybe fear was clouding your vision. So why did I devote an entire episode to motivations and dreams? Here's the connection I want you to make. Motivation and dreams come from the heart. They should be the underpinnings of your vision. It doesn't matter whether it's the vision for your business, your role in somebody else's company, or for your life. Your heart has to be in those things you've decided to devote the majority of your time pursuing. You need the courage and the belief that you have what it takes. You'll find a way to get help along the way. You'll have the strength to keep going in the face of one of our most powerful of all emotions, fear. Is fear holding you back from pursuing a dream? Would you like to work through it? Would you like to change your roadblocks into speed bumps? I believe I can help. This is your life's work. As I asked at the beginning, when you finish your final chapter, will it have been worth the read? I'm Jim Ray. If you'd like to explore this or other business topics, reach out to me on my website at jimrayconsultingservices.com. You can also connect with me on my business Facebook page, Jim Ray Consulting Services. If you're ready to begin listening to your heart and overcoming your fear, let's grow for it. Thanks for taking a few minutes to listen. Can I ask you a favor? If you liked what you heard, would you please go to iTunes and give today's episode a 5-star rating and a review? Your comments will make it easier for others to find this podcast. Thanks in advance for your help. Now, go follow those dreams.